There's a couple of ceramic pieces here. They're by Ackley. And one of these particular pieces, which I found very, very interesting, but I couldn't determine from the slide in seeing this, that she's done this beautiful little bowl. But it's not just a traditional one-wall bowl. It's a double wall. She's managed to work the ceramics so that there is a solid interior, but there is an exterior wall that is perforated throughout the entire piece that you can look inside and actually see lights from the other small holes and openings throughout the ceramic piece. Very nicely done. This particular watercolor by Jackie Hogan, I was very drawn to because I think watercolor is a pigment or is a media that is very, very difficult to master. It requires really thinking about where are your lighter tones going to be and then not touching them, leaving them there, leaving the bare white paper there so that it keeps coming through. So the form, in a sense, has to emerge really almost out of the negative in the way that it comes on. And I love this particular character where you see those elements of the white just going throughout the particular figure to highlight the principal features of this particular piece called The Designer. This particular soft art piece is really a collage, but it's done entirely with fabrics or using those fabrics as stencils throughout the particular piece. And it's a piece that has all kinds of little nuances. It's by Myra and it's called Singular Mindset. And she had submitted this in 2 images, and I really liked both the images, and it took me quite a while to realize that there was one that captured the entire piece, and then one that was a little bit of a detail down at this end. And after looking at it a while, I began to realize that I was being drawn into the piece, which is one of the things that I really like to see happen whenever you're looking at art. How easily can you be pulled into the piece? How can you easily engage visually with what's going on? That's kind of like you're listening to a song, your foot starts tapping the rhythm. That whole process of being pulled in visually where you're getting up close to it and really beginning to examine all of the subtleties. This particular piece by Janie Stedham was one of those pieces that I looked at and I was really fascinated for its design quality. Sure, we have the checkerboard kind of pattern, but then we've got all kinds of other directions that are taking our eye throughout this. It's beginning to sort of mix a lot of particularly warm brown and yellow colors, and it's kind of what happens when you're doing that batch of cookies and everything isn't blended yet. And I found it very, very interesting, and I loved actually seeing it up person. It's by Janie Stedham, and it's called Wake Up. And it's one of the many really fine textile pieces that were in here. A lot of subtleties in terms of the different weaves, the reflections that come off of much of the materials, some that absorb the light. And I find it really was very interesting to look at as a design piece. This particular photograph by Tina Alvarez called Say What, I find was really appropriately titled. When I first looked at the smaller image of this, that's exactly what I felt. Say what? I was looking at this and I thought, is this a sculptural piece? Is this something 3D in the way that it carries itself? That was a little bit hard to tell on a very small image. So when I actually saw it here and realized it's a photograph, I really was impressed by this wonderful undulation of line and the way your eye is carried back into the darkness and throughout the the actual piece and the subtlety of areas where there is a real sharp focus and then there is more of a blur and a softness to the work.